Hello everyone and welcome to Golden Axe Myth, which is a fan-made sequel to the entire Golden Axe series. We're going to be playing as Axe Battler first. So this gorgeous sprite work and the artwork in general was made by the people who made this game. None of it is taken from anywhere else. And I think it looks pretty beautiful, honestly. So you remember these two enemies from the original Golden Axe? I'm sorry, it's just one of them now. You remember these enemies from the original Golden Axe. They function pretty much the same way, except now they're 100 times prettier looking. We can find permanent power-ups to our character inside crates and bushes. We lose them when we die, though. In this game, it's possible to swamp enemies after they fall down and hit them as soon as they get back up, which was not possible in any of the other Golden Axe titles. We can perform a dodge slide to move up and down several planes quickly, which is incredibly useful. It will be our main method of avoiding attacks. There's nothing too special about these guys' moveset. They do pretty much the exact same thing they did in the first Golden Axe game. Except their AI is a bit less stupid. And hey, it's the blue dragon from the original Golden Axe, but much prettier as well. Unfortunately, well, actually fortunately for the game design, the enemies don't just walk right in front of you in this one while you ride a mount, so it's a lot harder to hit them. Enemies in general tend to bunch together a lot less. We can do the leaping stab that everybody is familiar with, and it does a ton of damage just like it did in the first game. The normal jump attack is incredibly underwhelming compared to other titles. In this series, I mean. I'm perfectly okay with that, though. The hitboxes on the attacks are actually pretty great because sometimes you hit enemies behind you. Like when he swings his sword behind his head, that actually hits enemies behind him. You perform two different types of combos depending how close you are to the enemy. If we're super close, we bonk them on the head and knock them over, but if we're far away, we stab them. Hey, it's the thieves! That look a lot more like gnomes again. I guess they preferred the version that looked like gnomes. Welcome to the first boss, and after we use our magic, this boss will introduce us to the prevailing strategy for taking out normal enemies in the game, which is to come at them from above or below and just smack away at them. Hey, a card. So this boss is practically just a tutorial. He's not going to do anything to you unless you're stupid enough to stand directly in front of him. So just don't do that. If you do that, he does have the ability to poison you, so I wouldn't recommend trying. When we select our path, we're not selecting the next stage we play, we're selecting the next mini-stage we play, which takes us to the next main stage. Basically, we're choosing our mode of transportation to the next area. Something neat about these barrels is that in addition to holding items, you can smack them into enemies like projectiles. It's It's pretty great. So there's nothing particularly special about this monster cart ride. We just fight a whole horde of these normal enemies that we've seen so far. And there's nothing special about them either. Just like the first boss, as long as we don't stand directly in front of them for too long, we'll be perfectly fine. But seeing as this is still technically part of the first stage, I think the low level of difficulty is warranted. And it's really only easy if you're familiar with design tropes in beat-em-ups. If you just tried to attack all the enemies head-on, then it would be far more difficult. But we've played quite a few beat-em-ups. And we know that making use of multiple planes of movement is the most important thing to do. When we bonk them on the head and kick them, we actually knock them into other enemies, which is pretty useful, as I'm demonstrating right here. So there are reasons to choose one combo over the other, though it may not come up very much. It is possible to get knocked off the cart back here. It's very hard, but it is possible, as I found out. So let's not stay too close to the edge. If there's one thing this game is good at, and it's good at a lot of things, but if there's one thing it's good at, it's introducing new enemy types. So we won't be seeing these guys by themselves for much longer. The dashing charge is still a good way to react to enemies and get them out of the way before they have a chance to attack you. It's basically See, that guy just kicked himself right off the ledge. But yeah, the dashing charge is basically a defensive offense.